I've spent an hour working out my NRL round 12 Indigenous tips, but I'm telling you now that I'm going to get 3 out of 8.
Subscribe to Entertain House.
G'day guys and welcome to my NRL round 12 tipping video. It is Indigenous round. It's going to be a great round of footy. This is one of the best rounds of the year. There are a lot of games to look forward to. There are a few players missing for some teams, which makes it, it's always going to happen, but a lot of great matchups here. Starting off with Thursday night, round 12 kicks off with the Brisbane Broncos up against the Penrith Panthers. The Broncos were defeated by the Storm, who have a fantastic record against the Broncos. They definitely hung in there, but without Adam Reynolds, just couldn't get the job done in the end, and the Storm at home a little bit too good. As for the Penrith Panthers, really hitting some form at the right time as well, getting themselves up the ladder, and a great win against the Sydney Roosters, a good team effort. Jerome Luai was outstanding. He's in the mix again for Origin. It's between, obviously, Luai and Hines for that number 6 jersey. Let's have a look at these two teams. The Broncos, Adam Reynolds is out for this one, so Jock Madden moves into the 7. They look unchanged besides that. On their bench is Pakes, Jensen, Hetherington and Tapau. As for the Penrith Panthers, no changes for this side, and their bench reads Luke, Lindsay Smith, Liam Martin and Jamin Salmon. So a very dominant performance, but now they have to travel up to Brisbane, where teams have struggled, besides obviously Canberra this season, and the Broncos still have a very quality team. Reece Walsh still looking for an Origin spot. It kind of is a 50-50 game, but in betting, the Broncos are $3.10, which is quite a big price for them. But for this game here, I'm going to go with the Panthers. I'm going to go with the Panthers by 12. I just think they're hitting form at a really, really good time. I think they have, that full squad as well. Scott Sorensen's playing really well. Jerome Luai's playing really well. So I think that those type of names, and if Nathan Cleary's kicking games on, watch out. So I'll go the Panthers by 12 here, a nice win for them. I'll go the Panthers to defeat the Broncos, 24 points to 12. And I reckon their electric fullback in Dylan Edwards, the fact that he probably won't be picked for Origin, he'll be a bit fired up for this game the week before Origin. So Dylan Edwards to score the first try of the match for this one, and Penrith to win on Thursday night. Next up sees the St. George Illawarra Dragons against the Roosters. Now, if I wasn't at the game after this, I'd probably go down to this round because it was a great encounter on Anzac Day. It is a rematch of Anzac Day just under a month later. Big news out of the Dragons. Anthony Griffin has been sacked. I'm not too sure who has taken over immediately as coach, but he has been sacked today. So look, when teams get sacked, as you know, they do perform. As for the Roosters, really struggling at the moment. They probably both of these teams really need this win. You could argue more that the Dragons need it due to their position on the ladder, but the Roosters, man, have been playing terribly. Joseph Manu is out for this one. Nathan Brown has been named among the reserves. Their bench is Turpin, Butcher, Crichton and Lodge, and Drew Hutchinson moves to jersey number 7. Interesting there. Interesting. As for the Dragons, Billy Burns is out for this one. Moses Mbye on the reserves. I almost cannot believe my eyes here. Their bench is Jaden Sullivan, Toby Couchman back, Ben Murdoch-Masila and Josh Kerr. That's a nice bench. And then Jacob Liddell moves back to number 9. Zach Lomax is in. This could be the best lineup that you've seen for the Dragons all year, but the Roosters, so much quality in their lineup as well. You got James Tedesco. Warrior Hargraves was in doubt, but looks like he's playing. Being played at Cogra on Friday night at 6 o'clock. I'm going to tip the Dragons here. I mentioned it. Teams do perform when their coach is sacked. This team is very desperate for a win. It's been way too long for Dragons fans. The Roosters are not playing good footy. I think this will be a high-scoring game, but ultimately, I think the Dragons will get it done. And you know what? I reckon Lomax will miss one conversion out of the whole game. I reckon this will be high-scoring. I'm going to go the Dragons to win over the Roosters. 26 points to 20. Very entertaining game. I'm going to go with Michaeli Ravalawa first try scorer out on the right wing there. Ravalawa first try. But I reckon the Dragons can beat the Roosters because they have not looked the same team that we expected to see this year. Dragons to win on Friday night. Game sees the South Sydney Rabbitohs up against my Parramatta Eels. This is going to be a very tough game because, look, we have been able to score points. We have a shocking record, especially quite recently against the Rabbitohs. We were able to get back into that game against Canberra, especially being away from home. It impressed me to be down by that much and, you know, make it a closer game and almost win the game. Absolutely almost come back to win the game, but unfortunately falling short once again off the late Matt Tomoko try. As for this game, the Rabbitohs, Jade Cartwright is out for this one, so their bench is Suluku Fafita, Liam Knight, Jai Arrow and Blake Taft. That's a nice bench. And our bench is Ogden, Hands, Madison and Makatoa. Arthur moves back to 18th man with the return of Mitchell Moses. And Hayes Dunster has been dropped for Sean Russell to be on the wing. Can I just say, this is the best 1 to 7 that Parramatta have put out all year. We've finally got Simonson on one centre, Penasini on the other centre, and Sevo and Russell on the wings. I've been calling for this for weeks, and it feels like Brad has been listening. The only thing I'd change is starting Brendan Hands over Josh Hodgson. I think he has looked a bit better in recent weeks compared to early on, but I still would have Hands starting over Hodgson, but I think there's a pride factor there with Parramatta. The Rabbitohs, they beat the Tigers 20-0. It was 8-0, 6-0 for a lot of the game. It was a really, really weird scoreline. And as for the Parramatta Eels, falling short, but attacking with lots of points once again, which we seem to be doing all season. Man, I like that lineup. I really do. I like that lineup. But South Sydney, they're a different team. They have a great record. They're a different beast. They're great at Allianz as well. I'm going to tip the Eels here, guys. I'm going to tip the Eels. And the reason I'm going to tip the Eels is because Parramatta have a great record of, you know, struggling against teams and then turning up for games where people don't expect us to. And I know everybody's going to be on the Rabbitohs 13 plus here. Rabbitohs 1 to 12. All Rabbitohs, I guarantee it. Everyone on YouTube, all of you will be tipping South Sydney. But I got a feeling that Parramatta can win this game, and I think it's going to help because our season is dead set on the line. It still feels like it's over. If not over, it's hanging by a thread. I'm going to go Parramatta in a high-scoring one, a very high-scoring one. I'm going to go the Eels to win by 4. I'm going to go 26 points to 22. I didn't tip the Eels last week, and I'm tipping them this week. I reckon they can win. I do think they'll concede the first try in this high-scoring matchup. I'm going to go with Isaiah Tuss from the South Sydney Rabbitohs left edge to score the first try. And I like, because I've got 50 or 48 points scored, I like a little sprinkle at over 43.5 points at $1.90 there. But Parramatta, Friday night, W. The next game sees the Cronulla Sharks up against the Newcastle Knights. I believe this game is at Coffs Harbour. As for the outs, Cameron McInnes is out for the Sharks. So their bench is Braden Trindle, Jack Williams, Wade Graham and Thomas Hazelton. And Dylan Lucas is out for the Newcastle Knights. So their bench is Gamble, Saifidi, Adam Elliott and Matt Croker. The Knights, a great win over the Titans, scoring 40 points for the home fans. Probably a needed win as well, coming off the bye. And then the Sharks, a good win. An okay win, I guess, against the Sea Eagle. They were able to beat them, but very unconvincing in recent weeks. So they're not at home here, but it is a home game. But they need to put in a better performance to be better. Still got a great side, lots of quality. The Knights do score plenty of points in attack recent weeks. But I think the Sharks have enough to win this game. I think the Sharks will win and win well. I'll go the Sharks to win 30-16. This is one of those games where I could see the Sharks being up, you know, maybe 18-20 to 6 half time. But in the second half, it's pretty much all the Knights scoring the points. But I think the Sharks 30-16, so the Sharks by 14. And I'll play it safe here. It's either Mulatalo or Katoa. And I'll go with Sione Katoa to score the first try for this game at Coffs Harbour on Saturday. The next game sees the West Tigers and the Cowboys. This matchup from Leichhardt Oval. It is it's a terrible record for the Cowboys at Leichhardt Oval. They really, really struggle at this venue. I could be wrong, but I believe this game is Luke Brooks' 200th game. So a massive congratulations to Luke Brooks if it is his 200th game I'm pretty sure it is this week. As for the Tigers, I mentioned they were kept scoreless last week. They'll be disappointed after back-to-back wins. It was always going to be tough against the Rabbits, but not scoring a point, they're going to be very fired up for this game. And the Cowboys starting to hit much better form. People are saying they look like a top 4 team. Just calm down a bit. Calm down on the Cowboys. Let's see how they go the next couple of weeks. But they do look good. Lots of points against St. George. But again, lots of points conceded, so need to work on defense. Will this be a low-scoring game? Probably not. Another high-scoring one, I think. I tell you what, this is meant to be the last game at Leichhardt Oval as well. This is meant to be the last game at Leichhardt Oval. We know the script that's coming. I'm going the Tigers. I'm going the Tigers in an upset. I went the Tigers against the Dragons, and it worked for me. I'm going the Tigers over the Cowboys. It is the last game at Leichhardt Oval. It is Luke Brooks' 200th game. I'm going the Tigers to win by 8. I'm going 26 points to 16. I think West can pull up an upset. I'm going to go their fullback, Jareem Buller, $3.15 to score at any time. Great value, but I'm going to back him for the first try scorer. And look, you've seen him at $13. You've seen him at $17. He's into $7.75. Alex TWAL. It is Leichhardt Oval. Alex TWAL is scoring his first try in the NRL at Leichhardt Oval this week. I would have been there, but I've got the Mariners game. I can't wait for that Mariners game on Saturday, guys. It's going to be a great vlog when the Mariners make the A-League Grand Final. It's coming. But I'm going to go the Tigers to win. TWAL and Buller to score. The Tigers are going to upset at Leichhardt on Saturday afternoon. Next game is going to be absolutely incredible. This is one of my most anticipated games of the year. It is the Melbourne Storm heading up to Suncorp to play the Dolphins for the first time. And what makes this game so cool? Branko Lee, Jesse Bromwich, Kenny Bromwich, Felice Kafusi, all former Storm players playing for the Dolphins now. So this is going to be an awesome matchup. Really looking forward to it. The Dolphins are coming off a bye, so they're really fresh going into this game. The Storm, a great win over the Broncos. Maybe they're a little bit tired from that game, but it's going to be awesome. It really is going to be awesome. Some of the battle between these players that are fighting for origin spots. You know, you got Hamiso Tabuai-Fidau fighting for an origin spot. Cameron Munster will obviously be there. You've got Christian Welch in the mix of an origin spot. So there is a lot to like. As for the bench, Wallace, Milford, Stone and SASA for the Dolphins. Garlic, Penne, Eisenhoof and Kamakamika. Tarek Sims has been named on the reserves for this one. Interesting. It's going to be so good. Valence T. Ware has not been named, or I'm just trying to see if he's playing. Valence to Ware. Yeah, no, Valence to Ware has not been named for this one. It looks like, yeah, he's in jersey number 21 after a great debut. Guys, I reckon this game is going to go to Golden Point. We are in for a cracking game. This game is going to be worth the hype. This is the game of the round. I'm going to go the Melbourne Storm to win by 1. I am going to go the Melbourne Storm to win 19 points to 18. We're going to get a quality scoring defensive game. It's going to go to Golden Point. My first try scorer, he's run some very damaged lines in the last couple of weeks. I'm going to go with Eli Katoa from the Melbourne Storm to score first. And I like a little nibble at Hamiso Tabuai-Fidau at $2.10 to score at any time. The Storm to beat the Dolphins by a field goal in Golden Point, guys. The next game on Sunday afternoon sees the Gold Coast Titans at Accor Stadium against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Flip a coin, guys, and pick your winner. But the Titans attack, scoring 26 consistently. They're a machine at attack. But they are also not a machine at defense. So they are such a hard team to get a read on where they are. Now, Josh Adokar is back. He's been named. He probably will play after missing last week, being a laid out. As for the Titans, they do look unchanged. Aaron Schopp on the reserve with Brian Kelly and Jojo Fafita still in the centres here. Look, the kicking game of Tanner Boyd is fantastic, but obviously the Burton bomb is even better. You got some great battles there in Philip Sammy, who tackle breaks galore against the speed try-scoring machine of Josh Adokar. So this could be a really interesting game. The Titans are obviously still missing AJ Brimson. I still wonder how they'd go with Beau Fermor. He was having an awesome season, and I wonder if David Fafita on one side, Beau Fermor on the other over Joe Stimson, they would be an absolute machine. Now, they lost last week, which disappointed me. I did tip them against the Newcastle Knights to get the chalky. The Bulldogs are desperate for a win. This game probably has a Bulldogs win written all over it, but I'm going to play it safe here purely to try and get some tips right, because I have tipped some upsets this round. I'm going to go the Titans by 2. I'm going to go the Titans to not score 26 this week. I'm going to go the Titans 20 to the Bulldogs 18. And I'm going to go with Brian Kelly to score the first try for this game. I think the Titans have a little bit too bit class for the Bulldogs in some of those positions, some of those areas that they can control the game, ultimately get the win, but it's going to go down to the wire. I think the Titans can win on Sunday after. And we wrap it all up at GIO with the Raiders and the Seagulls. And let me tell you, the Manly Seagulls have a great record against the Raiders. Now, they do have some ins for their side. Morgan Harper, it looks like he's been named on the reserves. Jake Trbojevic is back. He's been named at lock for the Seagulls. There is another out. I know Josh Aloiai is also out, and so is Kelma Taulagi. So Ben Trbojevic will be playing in the back row. Interesting there. He's played a few different positions, and that's not one of them. As for the Raiders, Xavier Savage and Zach Wolford both out for this one. So Harawira Naira and Kotrick have been named amongst the reserves. Could see one of them potentially play. Hohepa Peru named on the reserves as well, who he's a quality junior in the number 9 system. But they have gone with Starling and Levi in that number 9 and 14 role. Oh, both of these teams missing some players here. Hey, tell you what, harder than I thought. Raiders hitting some form, man. Manly's getting desperate, really desperate. And again, players for Origin like Tom Trbojevic, like Hamal Olakalatu, they're going to be out for a spot. Olakalatu versus Hudson Young is such a battle, especially with Origin coming up. I'm going to go the Raiders here. I'm going to go the Raiders, which is crazy because this will put them very high on the ladder, and I didn't expect this team to be where they are, but they have proved me wrong. I'm going to go the Raiders to win. 26 points to 16. The Raiders by 10. I think they can be too good for some out-of-position Sea Eagle. I'm going to go with Jordan Rapana to score the first try for this one. I reckon Canberra will get the win. All right, guys, so let's recap those best bets. Last week, if you were on my best bets, you would have profited, guys. Let's talk about it. Olam, anytime try scorer. Volkman, anytime try scorer. Kyle Feld to score a double against the Dragons at $6. Went out to $6.50. I got it at $6. Don't know about you guys. Let me know. Philip Sami to score a try at any time. I think it was about $1.96 for that one. We had best bet as the Panthers -5, the Sharks -4, $3.90. Book it. We got it. We had Tyrone Peachy at $3.10 to score a try. Tommy Dearden, $3.80 to score a try. And Herbie Farmworth, $2.90. So some supreme value last week. This week, I am going with anytime Jareem Buller for the West Tigers. Anytime Hamiso Tabuai-Fidau for the Dolphins. And over 43 points in the Eels and Rabbits game. That's going to be it for this video. Make sure to let me know your tips in the comments. There'll be a vlog for Friday night, Rabbitohs versus Eels, and a vlog for the Mariners game as well on Saturday. Looking forward to that one. And tomorrow, my Queensland NRL predicted lineup will be out. So looking forward to putting that out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Good luck to your team. Hopefully you can get more than me this week. I'm only getting 3 out of 8. And I'll see you guys later.